Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Cricket Analyst. I'm your host, Rishabh Jain, and today I've got a very special person with me. He's a very, very passionate CSK fan who is like right now reeling through a loss after CSK was eliminated from the IPL season for the second time now. How does that make you feel, Tanish? Because having you as my friend and seeing your work on CSK in the recent, I would say last month, I have seen that how passionate are you and how closely you follow the team and how fairly I'm saying, how fairly you
Yes,
criticize the team. So we would
fairly is the right word.
fairly. That's what I'm emphasizing on that. Fairly, you criticize the team. So today we are going to talk to him, get his thoughts on how the team has exactly performed, and how does he think the team should move forward coming into the next season and even the remaining matches as they are like eliminated from the season. So Tanish, thank you for coming here and happy to talk to you today.
Yes, thanks for having me on. It's nice to chat about the game we love with yourself.
Thank you. So I would start. I would really start. How are you feeling from the loss from last night?
Well, look, it's not a great feeling when your team loses. And it's never a great feeling, but you can't do anything about it. It was probably our worst, not our worst loss. But it was we fought a lot in that game. I think we had a chance if we bowled well. I think it was it wasn't our best win. And we had a chance to prove ourselves in these 5 games. It didn't work out, and now we have to move on to the next season.
So what do you reckon is the main, not, I wouldn't say the main cause because there are a lot of things which have went wrong for CSK this season. One of the things I think, and I would like to ask you, is was it the IPL title they won in 2023? The last ball finished by Jadeja. Do you think from there they just drove off a cliff by thinking that, okay, we can get retired players or older players and still win a championship? Do you think that is one of the main reasons?
I I think it is because I think that was a fairy tale finish for Dhoni to begin with.
Hmm.
And as a Dhoni fan, it's hard to say, but it definitely was. I think that's what their mindset was, and our management is an old management. We know that for sure, and I think their mindset was, let's get a reunion of CSK past CSK players like Ashwin and Sam Curran, who did well last night, Sam Curran.
Yeah.
And then let's bring in some experienced in Huda, Shankar, and Tripathi. And like I said a few weeks ago, that these players at the back end of their careers aren't really suited for this sort of like team, and you need like younger players, which we finally made that call
Hmm.
in the last 3 weeks, and it's been going well for Sheikh Rashid, Ayush Matare, Dewal Bravis, good choice, Anshul Kamboj,
Hmm.
and if Nathan Ellis plays at some point, that'd be nice too. But I think the mindset was we won 2023. Jadeja hit the winning runs. Experience is what matters. Experience this season has not been the key to our answer. It's been the key to many of our losses.
Hmm.
With the fortress we the stadium which we once called a fortress has become a brothel. Unfortunately, we have to focus on what our future on our future what our future looks like. We want to have a good legacy. We want Dhoni to leave this team with a and Jadeja to leave this team, Ashwin to leave this team with a good legacy, leave
Hmm.
behind a fantastic legacy that Dhoni, Jadeja, and all these guys built. And it's not working out, so I think we need to do something for the future.
So heading into the next season, for example, there is no mega auction anymore for the next 3 seasons. So you're literally stuck with the major 80% of the team. It's more like you can change the 20% of it because do you think is Ashwin gonna play the next season too? Or
How many players can you release in the
see,
mini
it's
auction?
see, it's up to the team actually how much they want to release and how much players do come into the smaller auctions because most of the teams have sorted their places out except I think Chennai and Rajasthan because those are the two teams who don't have enough like big
And
names
Sunrisers.
and
And Sunrisers.
Sunrisers, I think, have more like this. Their base is settled, so they don't need to release a lot of players. They have, I think, made their 11. It just the 11 needs to click as a whole. But with Chennai, they made their 11, but then they realized that, oh shit, we have to play Conway and Rachin, and then we have to move
Yeah.
Gaikwad to 3. But whereas Conway and Ruturaj worked really well in the last season, so I think they faltered somewhere. But I want to ask you, is Ashwin gonna play the next season or is he gonna be a team mentor? Because he
Yeah.
has only played, I think, what, 2 or 3 games and he hasn't performed at all.
Yeah, look, from what I've understood in my world of Twitter, I think Ashwin will hang around till 2027. In my opinion, I don't think he should,
Mm-hmm.
specifically because he's going to be 40 in 2027, and I think we don't need someone like him like as one of our key as a bowler that we need to rely on. I think we've got Jadeja for that for now.
Mm-hmm.
I think we need to find someone younger,
Mm-hmm.
someone like who can support Noor Ahmad.
Mm-hmm.
And Ashwin, while he's got the experience, he hasn't been he's the ball his balls haven't been turning sorry. His balls haven't been turning properly on the pitch. And it doesn't it's not the same Ashwin we knew from since he was playing for Rajasthan Royals. It's not the Ashwin we knew before he left Chennai Super Kings
Mm-hmm.
10 years ago. It's Ashwin post international retirement, and I think, in my opinion, okay, if we look at the international if we look at his international retirement, I think he made the right call on that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, looking at the games he's played, it hasn't worked out for him, especially on a deck that suits him so much, which is Chipok.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, he needs to, in my opinion, he needs to go. He can come back as like a bowling coach now with that, or like a spin mentor. Now that we don't have Dwayne Bravo anymore.
Yeah.
And but if he hangs around till 2027, he should at least be, if that's the case, he can be a backup bowler, and we have to find someone that basically supports Noor Ahmad if Jadeja happens to retire next season.
Mm-hmm. So, see, even Jadeja hasn't performed the way he did in 2023 because he was one of the major reasons. While he did not contribute that much in the batting side, he took wickets. He took wickets
Yes.
regularly. Whereas even this season, even in the last season, he looked a little bit pale with the ball, like he was not being himself. Now,
Slightly economical to Ashwin, but yes, I agree with what you're saying.
so, how do you think Jadeja's role is gonna be? Because either you can play him as a impact player, so that he doesn't eat up someone's place in batting. Because his average, like his strike rate, has been in the mid 90s against spinners. With pace, it's pretty good. So if you really want to use him, you can use him in the death overs like an impact player. But
With the bat, right?
yeah, with the bat, and then he can come into and bowl his overs as well. But how do you see Jadeja's utility coming forward?
See, Jadeja at four, I still don't understand why he's batting at four whenever we lose early wickets, or whenever we lose wickets at the wrong time, he tends to bat slow, and it doesn't work out for us. So it's been clear it hasn't worked out for us. It's been obvious last season, it's been obvious this season. Now you don't want to you don't want to completely change up the momentum of batting like we did last year,
Mhm.
which messed up our season completely. I think Jadeja should um should go down the order, and probably, probably, if we're gonna keep Dubey, Jadeja should come as an impact player with the
Mhm.
bat,
With the bat.
specifically because I don't see anything else in him, anything else in his future. I think bowling wise, well, that's fine. Batting, if he bats four, if he bats four, then well, you can't say anything about that. But there's nothing else to say about Jadeja other than he needs to come as an impact player if Dhoni happens to retire.
Hmm.
Otherwise, with Dhoni in the side, Jadeja is a burden in the team as team batting up the top. Because in my opinion, if Dhoni wasn't playing this season, Jadeja would be in his batting position.
Hmm.
But with Dhoni in the side, he's batting at the top because Dhoni believes in him and his power hitting, which we've seen in the past.
Hmm.
Next year, I think Jadeja will be playing his last season,
Hmm.
and I think he should be batting down the order, regardless of what decision Dhoni makes end of the season.
Right. And if we talk about the opening combination, which was, I think, one of the biggest strength CSK ever had, like in all the seasons,
Yeah.
start from the starting of 2008, that they had Murli Vijay, they had Michael Hussey, they had Brendan McCullum, they had Dwayne Smith. So they
Mm.
like these were the powerhouses. They had Ruturaj Gaikwad, and then they had Devon Conway. Even they had Faf du Plessis and then Shane Watson. So they had this whole package. But do you think Devon Conway is going to play for CSK again in the next season?
Yeah, look, t there comes a time when you expect, I'm sorry for swearing, shit like this happens, and it we come into a new era where it's kind of a end of an era for CSK, as in who to find as which opening combination is suitable and strength and has good strength to score runs. And unfortunately, I want Devon Conway in the side,
Mm-hmm.
but with his form look, he scored 60 runs in his second game. He scored whatever number of runs in his first game.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't exactly see Conway next year. Now he's our backup wicketkeeper. I
Mm-hmm.
don't see Conway next year. That being said, if CSK retain him,
Mm-hmm.
if CSK retain him, they have to play him as an impact player.
Right.
If they don't want to play Jadeja as an impact player,
Mm-hmm.
they have to play Conway as an impact player and make Dubey and use Dubey as an extra bowling option because
Mm-hmm.
Dubey we need extra bowling options in situations like we've seen this season.
Right.
If Conway doesn't put if there's no position, no place for Conway, then you gotta actually get used to that.
So, like, if they release Conway out of the mini auction in, like, I would say 7, 8 months, how do you think they are gonna pull up with any other wicket keeper? Because I think there are not a lot of wicket keepers who are in the market at the moment, like big names,
Yeah,
because they need someone who has good wicket keeping acumen as well as they can guide the bowlers. Because Dhoni used to do that. But for example, if Dhoni thinks that okay, this is time for me to go, and he goes, he retires. How do you think CSK management is going to pull up in the auction? Because I think Dhoni will still be there as a mentor, but having Dhoni on the field and having Dhoni out of the field, it's two different scenarios.
it is two different scenarios because when you have Dhoni on the field, it's a different story to having Dhoni off the field.
Hmm.
Now, I feel like Lucknow Super Giants will release Rishabh Pant, and if CSK get him, it'll be nice to have a young wicketkeeper.
Hmm.
But Pant is more interested in captaincy.
Right. Hmm.
We can't get KL Rahul because he's currently in good form for Delhi Capitals.
Yeah.
I don't know any other wicketkeeper CSK would want at this stage.
Hmm.
So it's going to be very difficult. And I think if had we had we done very well in this auction, mega auction,
Hmm.
it would be a different story.
So where do you think CSK went wrong in the mega auction? Because they had like good purse. They had retained
Yes.
good players. They had given Pathirana, which we'll come back to him in later. They had given good amount to Pathirana. They had given good amount to other players. But where do you think they faltered exactly in the mega auction?
Age and experience.
Right.
Now you want experience, but age is the factor. Now
Mm-hmm.
Deepak Hooda hasn't been in great form. He's 29, sure, but it's form that's more important.
Mm-hmm.
Tripathi Ashwin are the back end of their careers,
Mm-hmm.
and and basically Rachin Ravindra again, he hasn't had the best season. If he gets picked, he'll play as a backup opener because Saik Rashid and Ayush Matre are set openers for CSK. Let's see how that goes in the next
Yeah.
couple of years. Um, so what went wrong is again, yes, age is the biggest factor.
Mm-hmm.
For experience is what we like. It's what we're known for.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is it hasn't worked out last two seasons.
Mm-hmm.
And we saw Sam Curran batting at three, perfect decision. And it's like vintage Sam Curran from 2020, 2021.
Yeah.
And next season, they should utilize Sam Curran at number three, have
Mm-hmm.
Ayush Matre and Saik Rashid at the top. But if they really want to win, if we really
Mm-hmm.
want to win, Matt Short would be the perfect option at number four, which brings Dubai at five, Jadeja at six, and if Dhoni plays, Dhoni at seven
Mm-hmm.
because Matt Short, he's 30 he's 30 years old, but he's in good form. It
Mm-hmm.
depends on injury because he can get injuries very quickly.
Like, I even want to ask you, like, they went with Tripathi and Deepak Hooda.
Yeah.
Why didn't they go for Karun Nair, who had smashed like 750 odd runs in Vijay Hazare Trophy? He had
Well,
done
that's it.
he had done really well inside Mushtaq Ali Trophy, and he could have been one of the picks if even CSK was looking for a middle order batter, or even he could have opened because he's like right now opening for Delhi.
Didn't Karun Nair score 750 runs after the IPL auction?
No, no, no. See, he was in a really good touch actually. They could
Yeah.
have at least have a pick of him because he was picked later in the auction. It was not like he was picked before like on the first day. He was picked on the second day. But CSK went with Tripathi and Deepak Hooda. I understand that they want someone who are quite familiar with the Chennai conditions, but it hasn't worked well for them anyway.
Yeah. No, CSK went with Tripathi and Huda based on the fact that they'd probably groomed them as future assets for the Chennai Super Kings. It didn't
Mhm.
work out. And
Mhm.
it didn't work out because Tripathi was put under pressure. Deepak Huda hasn't even played well for Lucknow Super Giants.
Yeah.
So they could have gone with KL Rahul. They could have gone with Karun Nair. They could have even brought in someone um like I said, Matt Short.
Mhm.
But unfortunately, we're known as the team that wants to groom players who are released from other teams, which has worked out in the past. Shane Watson, Brendan McCallum, Dwayne Smith. But I think this season it's a little different because I think we went into the auction thinking our confidence in experienced players matters more than our future, and
Mhm.
it again it didn't work out properly.
No, that's right. That's a really good point actually because they went with experience, but experience hasn't paid off yet. You still
Yeah,
don't know if any of the players who are left in the squad who are yet to play for CSK can do really well. But I want to ask you about Pathirana because they paid him huge amount of money.
yeah,
Now he has underdelivered. Everybody has seen that.
yep.
What do you think is the main reason that from a level where Pathirana was one of the best bowlers CSK had to being one of the, I would say, the loose end for CSK this season?
Yeah, Patirana changed his action. If anyone observed it, his action looked has looked a lot different to what it was when he first started at CSK. And the last two seasons when he played at CSK, he was a wicket-taking machine. He went for
Mhm.
runs, but at the death, he took a lot of wickets.
Mhm.
I think he was a purple cap holder at one point too, Patirana.
Yeah.
Now and his action, his arm, the angle of his arm changed halfway through the season, changed, and it's more like he's chucking the ball, and that's what's causing him to bowl. That's what's led to him bowling a lot of wides, more
Mhm.
wides than RCB's bowlers in total,
Yeah.
which is the stat,
Mhm.
and which is the important stat, and he's leaked a lot of runs. It's cost us a lot of opportunities to win the game.
Mhm.
We lost yesterday. Parthiv Rana went for like 49 and 50 for one wicket. And the game before, Patirana went for a lot more than that as well. So the in the death, it hasn't been working out for him because Stephen Fleming has noticed that his action has changed, and I don't think he cared too much because he thought that it wouldn't matter to him. It it very much matters because if you change your action halfway through the season and it's not working, why are you continuously using the action? The sling hasn't worked. He was known as the next baby Malinga. He's gone from the next baby Malinga to the next nothing.
Mhm.
So he's cost us a lot of games. It's not worked in the death, and poor Nathan Ellis is sitting on the bench,
Mhm.
who could have supported Khalil Ahmed and Anshul Kamboj
Mhm.
in the power play and in the death overs. Because Khalil Ahmed is not the best death over bowler; he's the best power play bowler.
Mhm.
Anshul Kamboj is also in the same boat. Nathan Ellis can do both power play and death overs, which we saw in the first two games.
Yeah.
Yes, he went for a few runs, but we won the first game, and he bowled very well. You saw that for Hobart Hurricanes. He captained the side and he bowled the side to a tremendous victory throughout
Mhm.
that season in the BBL.
Yeah.
So the usage of Ellis is unbelievable. Uh, and Parthy Rana, I think he needs to be benched
Mhm.
for the rest of the season, but they shouldn't release him. They should groom him to become better bowler in the death,
Mhm.
make a huge comeback, but bench him for the first few games so they can see what went wrong this season with him, and how to make him a bit better for the next season.
Yep. That's because I didn't really actually. It's a good point that you mentioned that he has changed his action a little bit. I actually didn't realize that he has done that until you told me about it. But it's a really
Yeah,
good point.
it's gone from like here, and he's turned it, and he's sort of like angled it a little bit
Higher.
past here, which is mainly him, which is in his case because he has a different action to
Yeah.
others. It's chucking the ball.
Hmm. Right. Interesting. And let's talk about two more topics so that we go to the $1 million question of Dhoni. So the another thing I want to talk to you about is how satisfied are you with Khalil Ahmed's performance in this season?
I think after Noor Ahmed, he was the best pick out of the bowlers because
Mhm.
in the last 3 to 4 years we haven't picked any good bowler. We had Tushar Deshpande, not the best option.
Mhm.
Simajit Singh wasn't so bad, and quite a few others in between. Khalil Ahmed was a very good choice. And I'm not too sure why the last team released him. He
Mhm.
he has been our perfect power play bowler, the bowled the most dots and has taken a lot of wickets. And
Yeah.
it's lovely to see him do very well. And I think he is the first bowler we need to retain for next season.
Right. And I also wanted to ask you about Noor Ahmed, as you mentioned that he has been the best pick. Actually, he has performed on his reputation. In the first, I think, 5, 6 matches, he performed really well. But after that, it kind of tapered off when he.
Yeah, he's had an off day, a couple of games off. The two no balls he bowled, which
Mhm.
were a hit and a miss, were the sole reason we lost that match against Sunrisers. Otherwise, it would have been a comfortable victory.
Yeah.
But regardless of that, he's been the best bowler we've picked since Ravindra Jadeja. So I don't see any issues. I think he'll definitely be retained. one or two bad games doesn't define him as a bad player. He's perfect.
And now the $1 million question.
Of course.
Is Dhoni gonna play another season and will he be the captain?
Suresh Raina thinks Dhoni will play next season.
Mm-hmm.
Considering they are very close friends and he's got inside information.
Yeah.
As a huge Dhoni supporter, huge Dhoni fan, I really want to see Dhoni next season. I want
Mm-hmm.
him. I want to see him leave the field, leave cricket with the sixth IPL title.
Mm-hmm.
But it's his decision.
Yeah.
And when Danny Morrison asked him, "Is this your last season?" He's like, I don't know yet. I'm coming back. I'm coming for the next game." So that might lead to might hint on his retirement, and this might be his last season.
Mm-hmm.
I would love I would love Dhoni next
Mm-hmm.
season, but it's his decision, like I said. And you need to look out for the future as well. You need to
Mm-hmm.
also look at players of the future. But we don't know any. We don't. There's not any good keepers at the moment in the market
Yeah.
to buy at this stage. Maybe Josh Inglis, if Punjab Kings release him,
Mm-hmm.
it be then we could definitely consider Josh Inglis. But I don't know. It's going to be tough. And in terms of captaincy, Ruturaj is the at the moment the face of Chennai Super Kings.
Mm-hmm.
Dhoni is obviously the king of it, but Ruturaj should retain his spot as captain,
Mm-hmm.
regardless of regardless of what result we've seen this season.
Yeah.
Ruturaj is still our best option as captain. I don't see anyone else. There is literally no one else who can lead. Jadeja failed as a captain. Conway not suited his captaincy. Nathan Ellis, okay, maybe I'm biased in saying that he led Hobart to a stunning victory and he could captain, but let's be honest. There's no one else that can be a better captain than Ruturaj right now. That is why he has to be captain for next season. He can't be Dhoni because we can't always rely on MS Dhoni. If we
Mm-hmm.
rely on MS Dhoni, our future is clearly not very clearly bleak, and it shows that our legacy is only relied on one man. You don't see that. You see for Mumbai Indians, Hardik Pandya is doing extremely well as captain. For RCB, Patidar is doing very well as captain.
Mm-hmm.
So Chennai need to find a stable captain in Ruturaj. They need to Ruturaj needs to find a way to prove himself as the next best captain after Dhoni, because we can't rely on Dhoni, and our future needs to move past Dhoni at some point.
No, that's really true. I would ask you one more question. That if you were Stephen Fleming and Dhoni is sitting with you, what changes would you like to make for the next season at the auction table?
What changes? Um, well, I don't mind Shankar as a in the team as well, but he should be released for a much lower price than what he got. I would love to see Tripathi released. I would love to see what's his name Huda released,
What
because
does really?
Huda
Mm-hmm.
there was nothing screams the best of Huda in my opinion. Pathirana shouldn't be released. I think he should be benched. I think Vansh Betty should be Vansh Betty. I don't know much about him, but I've heard good things about him. He
Mm-hmm.
should be at the top with Dewal Bravis, Dubey in the side, and if they pick Matt Short, that'd be lovely as well. Or Josh Inglis as like a backup wicket keeper
Mm-hmm.
in the side. Because if you look at international cricket, Carey and Inglis both are in the side for Australia.
Yeah.
Inglis and Dhoni should definitely be in the side, whether he opens, whether he doesn't open.
Mm-hmm.
The openers are set in Ayush Matra and Saik Rashid, which means
Yep.
Rachin Ravinder will be the backup player.
Mm-hmm.
And Dubey should not be impacted. From next year, Dubey needs to be an extra used as an extra bowling option.
Mm-hmm.
And that is an important thing for us. Noor Ahmad retain. Jadeja retained for one more season, but actually not retained, released, but picked for a much lower price, in my opinion. Otherwise, or they might retain him.
Mm-hmm.
Ashwin gone as well, and Sam Curran also in there, maybe as a backup, maybe batting at number three. They might put if Matt Shaw plays, he might be backup. So lots of changes needed, but with the right team, we can be like Mumbai Indians and we can come back stronger from 10th place this year.
That's really good points. Thank you so much, Tanish, for giving your valuable insight and your feel as a CSK fan.
Thank you.
It was great having you today, and I hope the audience has also enjoyed what you have spoken about. So thank you, Tanish, for having being here, and hope to see you in next conversations as well.
Yes, thank you very much for having me. Appreciate it.